the risk and benefits of friendship outside of your marriage. In today's podcast, Cece and I, we're going to talk about some of the ways that friends can benefit you and some of the things to keep an eye out for. So stay tuned.
Listen, this man is cracking me up here. So, hey, Blissful friends, welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Cece, and I'm joined by my husband, who's cracking me up, guys. Yes. Hey, babe, what's up?
Everybody, this is Will, and she's just having a good time.
You cracking me up. You cracking me up. So.
Anyway, so welcome everybody. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. If this is your first time with us today, please remember to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so we can notify you when this videos come out. This is a weekly podcast, and in here, she cracks herself up. And she also talks about...
You crack me up, which is good for the soul, for the mouth.
I guess that's some of the things I do as a husband.
Which is good. We need that.
Yeah.
We talk about love, life, family, relationships. Y'all know what we talk about here, but we got to remind you what we talk about here, especially if we have new subscribers. You know, we talk about great amount of relationships that we share with y'all. Okay. So guys, you know, before we get into the topic of the day, we like to go into our blissful moment. It's been a crazy week. Okay.
Let me rephrase this. Yes, it was challenging, but you know what? It was nothing compared to some of the challenges that some people have had to deal with. Yes, we had to change our phones from one carrier to another, which caused some headaches.
A lot of headaches.
It took a few days. It started last Saturday, and throughout the week, we've been dealing with the switch.
And today,
it wasn't the easiest switch. It was just the phones. You know? It was just phones switching from one place to another. There's still one of them that's not completely up and running yet, but it's her business phone and it's the weekend. So by Monday, it should be up and running.
I'm hoping.
And you should be
It's
good.
like a headache to transfer into a carrier, like from one to another. And it's a headache to end this relationship. It's like a relationship in a way.
It was a rocky relationship.
It was really bad.
Started off rocky, I would say. And then I realized that parting way with this company would have cost me too much money. So I was willing to kind of like hang on. But then one final thing happens. I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving.
Well,
it's just, it's a combination of miscommunications and please forgive me. I'm not going to name the carrier because I don't think we don't do this in this podcast where we talk bad about a company.
But it was rough. To write.
But the thing is, now her personal phone is up and running.
It took me a week. Yes. Mind you, my phone broke, wasn't working since last Monday. Yeah. Not Monday just passed, last Monday. So it took me a week without having my personal phone. So I had to wait and wait and wait. And then it took me another 2 days, 24 hours to finally get it back up and running. Now my business phone is not working because of all this stuff that we got to do. It's just like...
Yeah, it's taking a while for the carrier to unlock the phone. I thought this was supposed to be like a 10 minutes process. But it's, I'm told 48 hours and it hits a 48-hour mark already and it still hasn't happened. So,
yeah, like what are we doing? You know?
But anyway, hey, listen. Listen, a phone is not a life and death situation. I just want to be very upfront. It's just a phone.
Listen, I had a really bad week. Okay, without my personal phone, it was a very unusual week for me. I felt like, babe, I need my phone. I was like, the girl's like, Mommy, you're going to have it. It's coming. And I was like, the whole week without having your phone? Can you imagine not having your phone?
I would be fine.
Holding it and calling people and,
I would be fine.
Watching stuff or TikToking, Facebooking, Instagramming.
I will still be fine.
It was just insane. I was like, yo, this is not working for me. And I'm glad that we got everything. But it's, again, like I said earlier, it's like getting into a relationship in the beginning that's like a really rocky.
Well, if I can say this, I know this was a relationship, a business relationship between us individuals and a phone carrier. But that could easily be something that could be applied to a personal relationship, you and someone else. If you start on the wrong foot,
you're going to end in the wrong foot.
And you've had a number of other things that happen
in between, and
you realize things are not working out. Don't go and tie the knot long term. Just nicely says, you know what, I'm sorry, it's not working out. I'm gonna transfer over to someone else.
We actually,
well, we hung around for about
6 months
since May.
6 months.
Not quite 6 yet, but coming close to it. I think.
6 months.
Yeah. So since May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, a short relationship. So
actually, I switched over to them May 14th. I started moving over from them on October 15th. Yeah.
6 months. This is a really short-term relationship. Like, it's not short compared to other people that like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they out. But this was bad. This was bad. But I'm happy. Got my phone back. It's working. We kind of happy. We got what we...
I was happy the whole time. I just didn't find it fun.
See how it is?
I didn't find it fun staying on the phone with them, trying to get things sorted out. The other day I was on the phone with a rep until 10 o'clock.
They're bad. They're really bad.
Yeah, until 10 o'clock, and they passed me along to a number of supervisors to see if they can get things sorted out.
Still weren't able to help.
And still they couldn't. So yes, those moments weren't. And it took 3 days spending time on the phone with them trying to get things sorted out. And
my thing is, before you move over to like a phone carrier, just do your research.
Actually, before you get into any relationship, just do your research. Ask people around. Sometimes we do things on impulse, and I don't normally do, but I switched over like right then and there. Someone approached me and
don't trust people. Like, that's how they got him. He went to the store and
I'm usually very skeptic.
You are. I don't know what happened. See, this is what happened when you see a beautiful girl and you're like, your mind is just like.
It wasn't a girl that sold me the phone. See,
I'm just saying.
It was a young man. It was a young man, and I thought, what? This young man is doing what he could.
But he got you pretty good, huh?
But yes, he misled me.
And then we went back to look for the young man. He was not there. Yeah. You would call asking for him. Actually, he was not there.
I've been going by the store where
He's
was.
Never there.
You know what? Here's what probably happened. He probably did this to a few people. They complained, and obviously he's no longer working at. But yeah, I've been going to the store where
this is our local store. So I'm just saying, just do your research before you get yourself into something that you like. Wait a minute, and we were fine. We were fine with what we were before. So mind you, we had to switch back. It's like, okay,
but they took us back.
It's like, okay, babe, I'm so sorry. I gotta, can we get back together? It's like me.
You can always go.
It's like us in the carrier. Like we had to, okay, we gotta. Oh, I'm sorry, we left you 6 months. So now, can we please reconcile? Can we move forward?
Well, they were very understanding, and they took us back.
Okay, we'll take you back. Well,
so
we told
if someone left you and they come back, you can take them back
in good terms.
Despite what they did. Anyway, so that's our blissful moment. Obviously, we're laughing about it. And I know there's people that face like crazy problems.
Your brother-in-law told you. You should never.
Yeah, he was like, because he worked for that company for some time. It was like, don't. But that's after I couldn't come out. That was about 30 days later. I realized that.
You got locked
kind of like they trapped you in. They give you 14 days to make a decision, but you don't get the final number until after that 14 days.
Yeah, and I'm sure some of you guys probably experienced this, and y'all know who we're talking about. So we're not going to say name.
Name any companies,
but do your research. Do your research, and you know what we're talking about. So
okay, so much for our phone troubles. Now we're good now, and hopefully her business phone will be up and running by Monday. So. Let's go back, or let's get into the topic of the day, which is the risk of and the benefits of friendship outside of your marriage.
Yes. Right? Last weekend, we talked about, how friends can really mess up your marriage.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, your relationship as a whole.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
But there are some benefits. I mean,
I feel like being married does not disqualify you from having friends. It doesn't. And I really feel like many times us couples, we really need to get together with friends that are married and just have our own little conversation and get to know each other and and become friends.
Well, yeah, and this thing happens. Say, for instance, you already have your own sets of friends, which she didn't. But there's people that she knew that I didn't know. And then there's people that I knew that she... So when we come together, those kind of become our friends.
Right.
And obviously, yes,
our
they're
friends.
couples. And in our case, there are some people that are not married that we consider friends as well.
Yes.
And that's common. Now... hanging out, we don't do that a whole lot, but I know there's a couple that hangs out with their friends on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of the friends that are not married sometimes hangs out by themselves with one of the partners, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, I have friends, not a whole lot, but, you know, I would not consider whatever. So here's the thing, spending time with friends without your spouse.
Without your partner.
Without your partner.
It could be a good thing.
I feel like sometimes it can be refreshing and also like a change of space, you know, because I think sometimes me and my sister-in-law, we go out and just have a different atmosphere, just to have like girls talk. But I feel like also it's also important for you to also recognize that the potential danger that it can create for your marriage if you're like constantly being with people who's not...
Well, who's the same sex as your partner? Say, for instance, it's me hanging out with a girlfriend.
With my friend.
Regularly.
With
not
my
just your
friend.
It could have been the girlfriend that I had before I met you.
First of all, that's never going to happen. Okay? Y'all know me. Okay? Let's pretend as if you're hanging out with my friend. Right?
Yes.
There's danger there. Like, what are you guys talking? I'm not there. Why are you taking her out?
Well, we're just friends.
Well, that's my friend, not your friend,
and you
right?
know, me hanging out with your friend will be very unlikely because I wouldn't know your friend that way if your friend is a single person. But it could be very likely that I could have had a girlfriend that I had a good relationship with before I even met you. Mm-hmm. But even after we've gotten together, I made it a point to regularly take this girl out and go hang out.
Oh, hell.
Now, full disclosure, I don't have such a friend.
Or it could be where we have friends, that girl is friend with both of us, right? Yeah. We hang out, we like childhood friend or whatever, church friends, we go out together, but I happen not to be able to make it. And then you're like, you know what, babe, it's okay. Let's just pretend her name is Jennifer. Jennifer and I were just gonna go out and chill.
Yeah, yeah.
And my mom like, no. If I can be there, you and Jennifer, even if we're friends, you not going.
Yeah. But, you know, and this is what's important to gauge the amount of time you spend with your friends, especially single friend of the same sex of your partner. Now, that's not us saying that don't ever spend time with that friend. But, you know, look at where you put that friend in your relationship. Yes, you may go out with them. Maybe a friend that maybe you haven't had some time with together. You go out and eat dinner together. Mm-hmm. You know? But it happens every so often. Not something that happens. No. I'm talking about it happens maybe
at least
once every 3 months.
Okay.
I mean, very seldom. Mm-hmm. And even in those cases, it's not regular. It's maybe the friend's been out of town for years and you hadn't seen them and they happen to be in town. And most likely in a case like this, maybe bring your spouse along. But if your partner, you can. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that when it becomes a regular thing, it's like you have a dedicated day out of the week. That's for that friend. Yeah,
just like I mentioned to you guys last week on the podcast, where with this show that Married at First Sight, like I binge watch on the weekend. Y'all know I be busy on the week, but I binge watch that on the weekend. That's my time, right? Which I gotta watch it today. So it's like, okay, this girl's like, okay, we spend Monday through Friday together. The weekend is for me and my girls to go out, and the husband don't want that. And that, to me, that's a danger zone. You spend too much time apart with your husband, with your spouse, or with your partner. Spending too much time apart is an issue.
Yeah.
Like, I understand maybe once a month we can catch up and do things together. But as far as every weekend, And as far as, there's a movie. I mean, there's people who are like that. There's a movie out. I got to go take my girlfriends. We're going to go out and watch the movie.
Yeah, you can do that. As long as it's not one of those things that's like every week you find some other reasons to be out with your girlfriend or with your homeboys. Mm-hmm. Or maybe with your homegirls if you the boy.
Yeah.
So in this way, you gotta gauge your time. Because at the end of the day, I think the majority of your time should be spent with the person you love. Yes, your friends are important, but you got to look to see, are your friends occupying more space in your life than your loved one? Right. If that's the case, because what's going to happen, your loved one is going to resent you. They're going to have problems with you. And before you know it, you'll be left with just your friend. Now, if that's what you want, that's great. But if you want to be with someone, someone you can share intimate moments with, then you'll have to kind of like, okay, what am I doing? Am I giving my friend a space that should be for my partner?
True.
And if you've come to that determination, you got to make a decision. You know what? Who's more important? My friends or my partner?
That's the question. Who's more important? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, watch the time you're spending with the friend. And if the friend is the opposite sex or the same sex as your partner, be extremely cautious because there's that risk of infidelity. And
that's another one. That's another zone that,
Well, hey, listen, some of us men, we're very, we can control ourselves.
You can or you can't?
We can. Yeah.
I don't know about that.
We can resist urges.
Not everybody can do that. You know that.
I'm being a bit sarcastic. That's a lot. But, when you're spending time with the opposite sex, because sometimes if the moments happen to be right, the place happens to be right, a little bit of alcohol in your system, things could happen, things that you don't want.
Things will happen.
Well, let me just say can happen. But you got to watch that. Is the last thing you want. And infidelity is the one thing that kills any relationship. The moment that you go down that road, there's no going back.
Right.
If you're married, maybe through counseling, you can kind of make up. But if you're just starting to build something with someone, the moment that you find yourself being infidel, you can kiss that relationship goodbye.
That's true.
And sometimes it's not so much that you intended, it's just that you allow yourself to be in a position where the infidelity took place.
Right.
Now, me, I'm a superhuman. Things like this can't
There's
happen.
such thing as a superhuman, baby? I don't know about that. But I truly feel like you really say it all when it comes to that, because a lot of time we just don't be thinking.
Yeah. Now, that's me saying that if you allow yourself to be in a position, it could happen. Now, you can still trust your partner to do the right thing. Right. It doesn't mean you're going to be so like protective that you would never let your partner interact with someone of the opposite sex.
Right.
No, you would, but at the same time, your partner has to be aware that, what am I doing? Am I allowing myself to be placed in a position where things that I don't want could potentially happen? Like, yes, don't go out and go spend time at this person's house late in the night drinking. No.
I mean, here's the thing. When you're married, you are in whatever relationship, there has to be boundaries. You got to have boundaries. I mean, and the thing is, some people don't have common sense.
It's 11 p.m. You're watching romantic movies with your friend and you're sipping on wine.
Wine, or you got a box of popcorn. Y'all like hee, ha, ha, like laughing by yourself. Like, man.
It could happen, But, in moments like this, things bound to happen because, emotions.
Or are you crying? Things happen. I just come by this.
You're watching the Titanic and it's getting very emotional.
You're very supportive, so I want to lay on your shoulder because you're always there for me as my best friend or whatever. And you start crying. And before you know it, lean on my shoulder, girl.
Oh, I'll support you. I'll protect you. I'll make you feel secure.
Lean on my shoulder.
But yeah, so watch for the risk of infidelity, and it could happen.
Yes, and I truly feel the same way too. Like, even if you have a best friend who's a male and you're a female, like, things can happen. You never know what's going on in the mind of people. The other person.
And sometimes the friends, especially friends you've had for a long time, so that's the opposite. There's always some attraction there. Yes, it may not have materialized into an intimate relationship, but there's some attraction. And given the right moment,
yes,
something can happen.
So you can't trust anybody. You gotta be in the same thing for, I mean, the only thing I would say is, you know, we're talking about friends here, but if it's a family member, opposite sex, let's say for instance, you know, well, I don't have a sister. Your brother would come over. Would you trust your brother around me?
Yeah, I trust my brother
You know
around
what
me.
you said?
Listen, even as family members, we have to know our places.
The way
Like
you say it, baby.
for instance, I can't keep going and hang out with my brother's wife. Mm-hmm. No, yes, if we hang out together.
Right.
Yeah, and this is what see, and we have to use common sense when we're in a relationship. Like I can't. I mean,
These people don't have common sense.
like your brother's wife, I can't keep going and hanging out with her and chilling while your brother's not there, you not there. I'm always at no.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, I know people that are very close.
Good with their in-laws?
Good, very, very close with their in-law. Like I knew this girl when I used to work for the bank back in the days, where she's very, very close. I'd be texting each other, call, let's go to dinner. You know, so-and-so will be at work because their sister was a nurse. So therefore, the husband, want to go hang out. Let's go have dinner.
That's
yeah,
good.
we can meet up
That's
at.
good for them.
I
wonder how they are now.
I'm pretty sure things are
Where they should be.
where they should be.
Yeah. And listen, there's another thing you got to watch out for. Is voices of influence.
True.
See, what you find is whomever you spend the most time with tend to know a lot more about you, because when you're spending time, you're talking about stuff.
You talking about a lot of
And-
stuff that you shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah. but you know, and obviously you get advice, and sometimes their advice may become more influential than those you get from your partner,
Right.
because you've built a bond with. So, and again, it goes down to watch whom you spend time with and who's speaking into your relationship. If it's with your spouse or your partner, yes, you resolve your issues together. But if you find most of the time is spent with a friend, and every little thing that's happening, the friend is well aware of it, then obviously they will be in a position to give you advice.
Right.
And believe me, that advice most likely will be different in many cases than what you would get from your spouse.
Yeah.
And if you spend a lot of time with this person, you will trust in their advice. Well, most of the time you would. And that will have an impact.
Sure. It definitely. Listen, I understand, like, if you like a newlywed and you want advice or you want to hear other people's opinion or whatever, but it is a dangerous zone, like, for you to be into constantly seeking, you know,
Advice from others.
Yes.
Now you can put, say, if you're in a relationship, have other people who are in relationship around
who are
you.
married.
Well, married, if you're married.
Yes, if you're married.
Because what you find, those people, if they've been married longer than you have, may have gone through their own similar issues that you're having right now.
Right.
And they can be in a position to kind of guide you as to how. So this is me saying that don't just not take advice from people, because you could be among people that can help you.
Right.
And if you can find people to help you, yes, don't go and try to figure it out on your own. If you have friends you trust, and obviously if you know that friend's having crazy problems in their relationship, they're not the one you want to reach out to.
They're not.
And you never know what's fully going on in someone's relationship. They could have major issues, but you don't see it. However, if you're really friends with this person, there's certain things you'll pick up on. So if based on what you've picked up, this person, those people seem to have issues, that's not whom you want to reach out
Right.
to.
And I want to add to, if you feel like most of the things that they're telling you is so negative, because sometimes you want to hear something positive. You want to hear, you know, I know you have a lot going on with your marriage, but you guys need to sit together and talk it out, or maybe see a counselor or see someone. But some friends will advise you on, well, girl, he's the problem. You know, I always know he had issues, or they'll just blame whatever's going on him, but they'll never see you as the problem. Because I want our friends to be like, truth, like, be honest with me.
If you have problems, tell you have
if
problems.
I have problem, if I'm the problem in this and you're my friend, I want you to be able to tell me, Cece, you gotta like chill back, because he's doing all he needs to do. He's doing all that he has to do, and now you the problem. You need those type of friends.
Yeah,
now,
gotta be a true friend.
Now I'm okay with that. But if it's one of those friends where
They're helping you see how bad this person is.
I done told you he's no good. Where he's not this, is not that. And you got to make sure that you don't bring a lot of friends in and outside of your marriage or your house. Because a lot of people who are newlywed or who's in a relationship where they're constantly bringing others in and out. That to me could potentially be an issue, because people know what's going on in your marriage, in your relationship, in your house. But there has to be a limit when you're married to someone, or when you are in a relationship. You don't keep inviting outsiders in.
Yeah. And some things are best resolved within you.
Yeah.
Because there's things you put out there, the only thing it'll do is break you up.
Because listen, people's going to be talking. Before you know it, your other friend you haven't been talking to for like years, who's friend with that girl and now knows about your business. You know what I mean? So you got to be very, very careful how you bring people into your relationship and outside. I mean, listen, when it comes to you and your man, or you and your girl, I truly feel like some of these key things, the important things, needs to stay within your marriage or within you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't care if y'all been child friends since like high school, since middle school, elementary school.
There's certain things you don't discuss with them.
You don't. You don't.
But here's one thing that
So we talked about the risk earlier, right?
Yeah.
We just went over like some of the risk that we feel like. Now let's go into the benefits, right?
Okay.
What are the benefits, baby?
Well, if we can piggyback to what we were just talking about, sharing with friends, you can have friends that will hold you accountable. Meaning that when they see you screwing up, they can help you get back on track.
That's all I have a lot.
And help you be fair, to your partner. Because all of us can sometimes get in our own ways and we fail to realize that we're doing the wrong thing. Mm-hmm. But when you have a friend who can call you out and says, Will, this is what you've done. This is why it's bad. Remember why you got with this person. This is what you can start doing to start changing things around. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to keep an eye on you.
Yes.
Friends like this, you need them. Yes. You may not be so open to hearing what they have to say, but if you trust that friend, even if at first you didn't, but you're going to take a moment to look at yourself to see, is he right? And you need someone like this, because otherwise you can go down the wrong path until you screw up everything. Yeah. So accountability is important, and you can have a friend that does that.
Yes. Here's the thing. Marriage is not easy. And I feel like you need to have a friend or couples, that you can trust, that you can turn around and say, listen, I need to talk to you. I need you to keep me on track. I don't know what's going on. It's okay to have someone that you feel like strongly there for you, not just taking your side, because it's not easy. And you need to have a trustworthy person, someone who's like going to call you out, just like you said. I want you to tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I don't see what I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's him.
Yeah, and you have to make sure you know that friend, because many of us have friends who's afraid of hurting our feelings, who will tell us what we want to hear just to make us feel good. And sometimes family member does that as well. So you got to make sure that you have those friends who's on your face, those friends who's got no filters, and they're going to call you out. Yeah, you got to actually have some people around you who are like that, because people like this will not be afraid of you feeling bad. They will just tell you.
You got to be strong. Sometimes you got to be strong and able to hear the truth, because the truth will set you free. Absolutely. Okay, you got to be strong. And the second benefits that I really feel like you need is encouragement.
Keep people around you who are positive. People who can see the good in things, who can help you see the good in things. People that can encourage you to keep going despite of difficulties.
Yeah, marriage, relationship is a roller coaster. Some days are good, some days are bad. But you want to have people. Your family can also be that, your mom, your dad. They may be married for like 50 years, and they may be the ones that encourage you to keep going. They're going to tell you, hey, listen, we had our own issues. Now it's your turn to have your own issues. So I'm encouraging you to keep going, because you said I do, or you are with this guy because you love him or you love her. Now, you gotta be faithful and know that it's gonna work.
Yeah. And you got to be willing to be the same for other couples who are around you.
Sure.
Sometimes we're in a relationship, we think of receiving.
Gimme.
You got to be able to give as well. Because just like you could be going through your issues and you need someone to encourage you, to help you see the good in what you have and kind of point you in the right direction so you can keep things going. Make sure that you're available to do the same thing for the people around you, because we all depends on each other. We all depends on each other. Just like we can count on them to encourage us, to kind of point us in the right direction. There'll be a time where we'll need to do the same thing for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you don't want to have an empty cup if you keep pouring into somebody else. Who's pouring into yours, right? Because you're gonna run out of stuff.
Yeah. So it's a two-way relationship when it comes to encouraging your friends. Yes, they'll encourage you, you'll encourage them. This way you all support each other. And make sure that people that you keep around you have similar mindset in terms of
that is true.
if I'm someone who believes that, you know what, we're building something that's important, we're gonna do what we can to make sure it works. I don't want to have couples around me that's constantly breaking up and making or people that's been divorced for like X number of years who's just waiting for the next time to just wrap it up and move on. No, I don't want people like this. So when it comes to mindset and belief, you got to make sure the people that are around you kind of share similar beliefs.
That's true. That's true. Absolutely.
Or someone who doesn't believe in marriage happens to be one of your single friends.
It happens to be your uncle.
That too. So auntie. People like this, I'm not saying like cut them off all completely, but you know what? Make sure that you limit their access.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is so true. And I think sometimes it's good to stay connected with your community.
Well, yes.
What do you mean by community, baby? What do you mean by that?
Well, community is
it church?
It could be church, but it's having people around you that can be a source of support.
Sure.
Right? Because a community, it's a group of people. We may share similar beliefs. We may be of similar age. We may be at maybe the same stage of our lives. You know, it's a group of people. Now, you can keep a big community if you have tons of people around you. For me, I want to keep it as small as I can.
I know that's right.
Because at the end of the day, I want to be very selective. When it comes to the type of people that I keep around, but it's good to be connected to people.
Oh, absolutely.
Because at the end of the day,
not too connected.
Lot of good ideas flow within communities.
Yeah,
I know one thing we've been talking about is kind of get couples together so we can have like some time of the month that we can get together and share things and where we're going. So yes, it's good to have that.
Yeah, and I know sometimes, you know, when you're married, you have family, you have life, you have children, you have business, you have work, you have
husband.
A lot.
You have phone issues.
I wasn't talking about me, but okay. When you have all this going on, you need to have time for once a month. Hey, brother, what you doing? Let's hang out. Let's come over and have like a disconnected moment, right? Let's disconnect from our home and go to your home or my brother's house where we like last month we went to my brother's house, watched the game, and it felt so good. My husband didn't want to leave. Knowing him, he doesn't like to go to people's house except for my parents and his parents. He doesn't like it. But when we went to my brother's house, we watched the game. We had pizza and wings. The kids were playing. It felt so good. I wasn't thinking about business. I wasn't talking about business. We were just chilling and having a good time. Same thing when we go to our parents. The same thing happened. We just, sometimes I feel like it's okay.
And it is okay. Like, for instance, if you take the people like ourselves, many of our conversations are business related.
Listen, right? I haven't had a dream about business.
We're driving in the car. We're talking about how do we work this. We're sitting on the dinner table. Yes, we engage the kids.
I was telling my husband about a business dream that I had.
So especially for people, because our conversations, when you find you're married, your conversation becomes very similar. And it takes being in the presence of others sometimes to have different conversation.
Right.
And a lot, because it's important to be able to disconnect from the norm.
I think we should have like a bingo night.
Bingo
Once a month. What we call it, a Black people bingo night.
but doing this activities does help. And when you do it with people that share, maybe they're in different line of work. And if you talk about work related things, it's something different.
Right.
Because and that's where the value of the community comes in. It allows you to be in a different environment.
Yeah.
Talk about different things, not sitting at home or go to the usual place. And people are very, very habitual. You find the restaurant you normally eat, you'll probably go to that same restaurant very often and eat the same thing there. No, meat.
That's us.
You know, you go to different places and do different things. And it helps. You find the place you shop tend to be the same place. And
yeah.
So life can become very repetitive when it's just you. But when you have other people you can do things with, you get to do different things. Which
kind of reminds me of a SpongeBob episode with Squidward decided SpongeBob was being so annoying in Patrick. So he went into this village of squid. Yeah, I've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it.
I don't think I have.
Everybody in that neighborhood looks the same. They do the same thing. They all squid. They look alike.
They do this. Oh, wow.
They go do, what is it called? Clarinet in the morning at a certain time. They go have dinner at the same time. Like they'll have like a strict schedule every single morning. You wake up with the same thing. And he was bored out of his mind because it's not from that.
He doesn't have SpongeBob
and
screaming
Patrick.
in his head and
so he actually found out that he was missing them.
So doing different things is very beneficial.
It is very beneficial because he got so bored, and so he was so happy to see them. They like annoyed the heck out of him. It was like, oh, this is what I want.
And when you have people around you that are different than you are,
people like SpongeBob.
It forces you to do different things because when you get with them, you find you'll talk about different things. You go to different places because it's not always going to be you who suggests where to meet. They will get the suggestion. So that helps you bring some variety in your life.
Yes, and I truly feel like sometimes it's okay to be like, okay, all right, babe, it's our weekend, or it's my brother's weekend, or let's just say it's our month.
Weekend.
Let's just say it's our month because we'll be busy. We don't have every weekend. It's our month, this month, next month is someone's, and I'm sure there's a couple out there who do these type of activities, but we are going to start looking into ways of stay connected more with our community, with our people.
We can get into our own little bubble. And
listen, and when we get in our bubble, we don't get out. We order from the same place every weekend.
Well, we have 3 places that we rotate from, which is not that many.
But it's so good. It is good. It's not that many. And they see us every weekend.
I think they know us by name now.
They sure do.
Yeah. So so that you know, those are some of the risks to keep an eye on and some of the benefits. But the bottom line is, although there may be some dangers in having friends outside of your marriage, don't let that be something that prevents you from enjoying life and enjoying the people around you.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of benefits in having the right people around you and having the right couples to support you. Obviously, family members play a big role in that as well. Because, you know, although there's some risk, you got to always look at the benefits. And remember, when you're in a relationship, you have to know your role. You have to know your responsibilities. Yes. Yep. Don't spend too much time with your friends. Make sure that the majority of your time is dedicated to your loved ones.
True.
Don't put yourself to be in a position to be infidel to your partner. You know? And when you know these things, you can make sure that you conduct your friendship outside of your relationship, your marriage, in a way that's beneficial to both you, your spouse, and the friend. And if you do that, you're golden.
You're golden.
Yeah. So, listen, guys, we appreciate you listening to our podcast on the benefits and the risk of having friendship outside of your marriage.
That's
Obviously,
right.
I'm all for the benefits.
I'm all for the benefits,
and I'm lucky enough that I don't have any of these risky factors.
Yes.
I mean,
Same
I don't
here.
have a girlfriend that I hang out with
Same
more
here.
than I do my wife. I will never put myself in a position to be infidel. No. My wife gives me everything I need.
Ooh, I like that.
Anyway, so much for the podcast. Hey, listen, if this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe and hit on the notification bell so we can notify you when these videos come out. Please remember to like the video, share it with whomever you think it may be beneficial to, and
share with everybody.
Some comments. We appreciate the comments. I know Cece's been trying to get to them.
I've been trying to.
I don't know how many she's gotten to, but we
I've
appreciate
got to
it.
some.
We do read every comment.
Yes,
and many of you guys have been
you.
making suggestions on topics to cover.
Yes.
I would like to see those in the comments as well, but you rather do email.
That's
and we
right.
understand that.
Because these two was requested through email. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but we appreciate everybody who's been with us since the beginning.
Yes.
This podcast is literally over 2 years old.
Woohoo!
I know.
Whoop, whoop.
I know, we're a toddler now.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, that's right. We're troublemaker.
Anyway, so thank you very much, everybody. We appreciate you spending the time with us, and we will see you next Saturday.
Bye.